All right, Andrew Easton with the ESUCC, and I'm grateful to Jen McNally of ESU5 for joining us for a conversation around some resources to help families establish a positive home environment for learning. When the classroom extends into that home space, educators know that it's different. It's going to pose different challenges, and whatever we can do to support parents in trying to create a productive learning environment, I think is important. And so, Jen, thanks for joining us for this topic.
Yeah, thank you for welcoming me here. Excited.
Yeah, and so we're going to point to some of the resources that you'll find on this page and just give you a little better sense of what you can locate there and how this might feed into the work that you're maybe looking to do with staff. So that being said, the first resource that we're going to look at actually is something that you got a chance to do with iHeart Public Schools, right, Jen?
Yeah, it was a resource that we put together right back in mid-March when the pandemic started, and we knew we were going to possibly go to remote learning. And it's a resource that went out statewide, and I know that there was a lot of value in that for parents. And even just being a parent myself, I just want to recognize the fact that remote learning, I mean, it's a full-time job being a parent. It's also a full-time job working from home as a parent, and it's also another full-time job helping your kids, supporting your teachers by doing that through remote learning. So, I mean, it's a lot.
Well, and I'm going to interject too and say that you can find sources on this site and the teacher-facing site from this initiative that give you resources on how, as a parent, to help your students stay organized. And so we've created some content on that as well, because as a parent, I've really appreciated that for sure in the midst of this. And so it's organizationally, but it's also, as you're about to talk about here, right, in just sort of the environment as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because many of you listening or know somebody or have had experience with having to quarantine or having to do remote learning. And so really this resource speaks to how do you stay connected outside of your home while we're doing some social distancing? How are we staying connected within our home? You know, everybody together all the time still, can be stressful too. And so how do you keep that structure and a schedule the best that you can? And emotional self-regulation ideas for kids, and really self-care ideas for kids. And an area that also I wanted to include my team and I is how do we take care of ourselves too? We talk a lot about how we take care of our kids, but taking care of ourselves is taking care of other people. And we want to make sure that we're also implementing mental wellness strategies for ourselves during this challenging time.
Absolutely. And you can access the resource we just shared on the screen at bit.ly/love SEBL. And that's with a capital L and a capital SEBL if you're going to access that. The next document that we're going to share is something that we were sharing, months ago also over the summer. That came out of ESU5. I know it was maybe just a little bit different work, but I'll throw it up here on the screen for us. Some parenting during COVID-19, just some tips from the ESU5 behavior team. So I really like this as far as thinking about let's establish some predictability, set some clear expectations, boredom. Yep, that can happen. And so trying to help from the parent end, trying to keep students engaged. And so some great tips. And we really just point you to this as an additional resource that you can bring into your communication with parents and trying to help best to support them, supporting their students. So yeah, anything to kind of play off of that with Jen, or we can also transition to the next one if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, it's another great resource of many that our state of Nebraska has created to be a part of the collective of helping each other, coming together and knowing that as parents, we all struggling with similar things. And so it's been really actually exciting to watch so many cool resources that are so valuable for all of us.
Yeah, and that's why we put this work together. There's so much out there. We got to bring it together in one place, and we really want to showcase the Nebraska work because we're like statewide. There's a lot of awesome pieces. So you can check this one out at bit.ly/parentingtips5, capital P and capital T on tips there. So the last thing that we're going to share for this video, at least, is a resource that you had a chance to kind of put together with some students, right? Do you want to speak to that a little bit to set this up?
Yeah, so I'm so many words I could think of. But first word that comes where, like spark joy, like definition of that's what this project did for me. We had a group of students who said, we want to be a part of helping other students. They took initiative on their own. It wasn't my idea or anybody else's idea. They came together and said, we have this idea, Jen. What do you think? And of course, you're talking about mental health. I'm like all for that. Whatever we can do to make people feel mentally well is something I'm on board for. So they actually surveyed their entire secondary classmates to get their ideas of what are 1 to 3 things you do to keep yourself mentally healthy or self-care, mental wellness. And so they came up with the top 10 list. And their top 10 list is teens created by teens. And couldn't be more proud of them, calling somebody you love, making a hype playlist, having a dance party, learning something new, showing gratitude. And these are the things that they felt were important for them to relay to other kids who are struggling when you're in remote learning or quarantine and getting back. It can feel isolating, even with the phone. They said, even with the phone, you can feel you miss your friends, you miss your teachers. And so I'm super proud of them for creating this and promoting this within their school.
Yeah, I think it's such a powerful piece and a testament to the culture that's been built within inside that right, for them to feel empowered enough to ask to step into this space to create something for their peers. If you're interested in this story, you can check out the entire conversation around this and this work on our ESUCC podcast, The Good Life EDU. And so there's the link that's there for you. In addition to accessing that on this page, with this document that the students created, we're here to just get all of those resources to you so that you can be as effective in this space as simply and as easily as we can with this site. So Jen, thank you for your expertise and for sharing all these tremendous resources. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.